Hi everyone, my name's Shane, and in this video let's take a closer look at the Fuji X100, X100V or any of the X100 series of cameras from a film shooter's perspective. Welcome to the channel if you haven't tuned in here before, and welcome back to all those who have. I'm an avid film photographer. I'd say most of my photos are taken on film. I certainly enjoy the experience of using mechanical film cameras. And I do have this beautiful X100V here in the silver finish, and it's a beautiful camera. It has great functionality for a digital camera. It's very compact, has built-in ND filter, fixed lens, 35mm equivalent. You can use the digital zoom to get to like a 50mm or even a 75mm equivalent as well. So many handy features in this camera, but I think the one that appeals to me most as someone who loves mechanical cameras, film cameras from, the 1950s and 1960s, is the optical finder that's in the X100 series of cameras. Also in the X-Pro series of cameras from Fujifilm, they both have the optical finder, and I think that to me is a great appeal of using this camera. You still get that bit of slightly analog feel because you do have that built-in optical finder. I think there's other similarities too, and there's definitely the aesthetic appearance, and that's a massive tick and a massive appeal of this camera, I think. I mean, it just looks so beautiful. It does look retro. You put it next to a film camera and it does look like it's almost, a sister camera to a film camera. And I think that really lends itself to why it's become so popular. Yes, it's a nice overall package, but the looks are a massive reason as well. So yeah, it's a great camera to admire, but when it comes to practical use, it also is very, very practical and great to use. It's weather sealed, the X100V, if you put the little adapter on as well. But yeah, beautiful camera. But what I would say, if you're someone who loves shooting film and you're looking at getting a Fuji X100 series of camera, or even a Fuji X-Pro series of camera like this one, the X-Pro 3 here, what I would say is it's not going to replicate the film experience, and it's not going to replace shooting film. These are still digital cameras, and they're very much going to be used in that way. I think that's the best way to use them, is to treat it like a digital camera. Yes, the optical finder is beautiful and it's great to use. The film simulations that Fuji gives you are amazing, and that's great fun to use as well. But again, you're not going to feel like you're shooting film when you're using these cameras. And I think if you go into it with that perspective, you won't be disappointed. But if you go into buying one of these cameras with a perspective of this is going to be like shooting film, I think you'll end up a bit disappointed. Yes, you're minimizing your digital experience if you use the film simulations. Let's say you're just shooting JPEG, you set a particular recipe, whether it's black and white, color, whatever it is, and you say to yourself, I'm just going to stick with that for today or this week or this month or even a year, whatever it is. Yes, you're limiting your options, which I think again equates a bit to that film experience, but you still have the immediacy of being able to see your images when you come home at the end of the day. You can, put your SD card into the computer or download your images, and you can see them straight away. You don't have that delayed gratification that you necessarily have with shooting film. Also, when you get the images back, they are digital images. Yes, they look beautiful and the Fuji colors are beautiful, there's no doubt about that, but they're still digital. Analog has a certain aesthetic to it, and for various reasons, there's positives and negatives of film versus digital, but if you're looking for that analog look and feel and the experience, I think you're not really going to get that with these cameras. But you definitely get a beautiful digital camera like this X-Pro 3 here in the Dura Silver. It looks amazing. Like, Again, the build quality is great. This one, I believe, is like a titanium finish as well, or titanium body. So the build is just beautiful on both this and the X100 series cameras. For digital, just, you know, a delight to use. But again, the way I treat it is, I know I'm shooting digital when I've got one of these. I use the autofocus, definitely on the X100. Use the autofocus, and that's how I use it. And yeah, it works beautifully. With the X-Pro, I have used that a fair bit with manual lenses. Again, it's not going to equate to using a film camera with manual lenses. Say compared to a Leica, you do have the rangefinder on a Leica film camera or digital camera as well, and you're using the lens to focus. But with a manual lens on the X-Pro, yes, there's various focus aids, but again, they're mostly digital. The optical finder doesn't help you focus at all manually, so you do have to rely on the digital aids, which again, you wouldn't have had those digital aids 50 years ago in a film camera, so it doesn't really feel like using a film camera even with manual lenses. But again, if you have that mindset that it is a digital camera and that's how I'm going to use it, even with manual lenses, it's a good experience, there's no doubt about that. So yeah, overall, I think these are great cameras. Definitely the hype is real, people love them, and for good reason. But definitely if you're a film shooter and you want to experiment with one of these cameras, for sure, go ahead and do it. Maybe get one of the older bodies just to try and see if it is really for you and fit what you want it to do. But yeah, I'd say definitely don't jump into one of these if you're really looking at that film experience, because the best thing to do there is grab an old film camera. You know, for $50, $100, you can grab a film camera, put some film in it, and that's going to give you that film experience and you're going to love it. So I'd say go and do that. You'll save a lot of money and you'll have a great time as well. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little talk about the X100 and the X-Pro and a bit around that digital versus film experience. If you've got one of these cameras, yeah, I'd love to hear how you use it, and does it inspire you like film does? Have a great day everyone, and we'll catch you in the next video.